Hi, this is Marla and Kim, and so we are going to talk to you today about repositioning an intubated infant that is on a conventional vent, specifically focusing on someone who is intubated on a conventional vent, and we want to prevent unplanned extubations. So we will start.
First, I'd like everybody to get used to the circuit. All right. So here we have the circuit for our conventional ventilator. This piece right here is called the Y that attaches to the ET tube. The Y, the end of the circuit, swivels. This is very important because you're going to need to turn this gently when we reposition the infant to avoid kinking the ET tube or putting tension on the ET tube that could cause an unplanned extubation.
Perfect. So the first thing we're going to do is turn our infant, who is intubated on a conventional vent, from supine position to right side lying. So we are at that point in our cares where we're ready to do that. So Kim, let's go to right side lying on the count of 3.
Okay.
Okay.
So the second caregiver is going to always make sure that she is taking care of the airway. So I'm going to hold the ET tube against the neobar. If the circuit is secured in an arm or another ET tube holder, which most likely this baby would have been because he is supine, you're going to remove the circuit from the holder. If you are unable to move the circuit from the holder with your right hand, or whatever hand you're using depending on the side of the bed you're on, you're going to ask your caregiver, which would be Marla, to hold the ET tube, or ask her if she could remove the circuit from the arm. But always make sure somebody is holding the ET tube at all times.
Okay.
All right. You do not want to put any tension on the circuit when you're holding it. If you do, that can cause the ET tube to pull away from the face, and that can also result as an unplanned extubation.
Okay, so are we ready?
So we are ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Notice how I've always had my hand on the ET tube and my other hand is holding the circuit. If we overturn the circuit, notice how the ET tube bends. You can correct that by gently turning the circuit.
Nice.
And then as you can see, it's nice and straight. After we turn, we want to make sure that we have the circuit gently laying on the side of the bed.
Okay.
I try not to secure the circuit in an ET tube holder or circuit holder because these infants like to move around a lot. If the circuit is secured, pretend I'm the arm and the baby moves, the circuit doesn't move, and we just ended up either disconnecting the ventilator or pulling the ET tube from the trachea. In this instance, we have a warmer that does not have any way to secure the ET tube, so we would want to secure that. So I would just use a Velcro strip.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go back to supine and show them how you swiveled the circuit before we turned.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to where we were. And just a quick refresher. So we're at that point in cares. We're going to count to 3 and move the baby from supine to right sideline on the count of 3. Okay, Kim?
So I'm going to gently turn the circuit.
So she's gently turning the circuit in the opposite direction that we're turning the infant.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
And then when you see a little bit of tension or turn on that tube, she just uses this area with the Y and the circle to swivel the tube a little bit. And we don't want any tension, or not too much tension on that tube.
Correct.
Okay, so now should we turn from sideline to supine?
Correct. Let's
Okay.
do that.
So what do we need to do to prepare?
Okay, so again, the second person who's going to be playing the role of the RT in the event that the RT is unavailable is going to make sure that we are holding the ET tube against the neo bar. And then we're going to grab the circuit, and on the count of 3, let's move to supine. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now you see how it's bent a little bit when we did that?
I do.
Well, now I need to adjust the circuit to straighten that out.
So you can
And then I'm going to
swivel that.
swivel it. There.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Great. And then because the baby is supine, we are going to want to secure it in an ET tube holder.
Perfect. So the
Or an
important
arm.
points are always hold right here where you have the tube holding it next to the neo bar, so we want to make sure it doesn't go in or out of the mouth. And secondly, make sure that you are handling the circuit and swiveling it as well, so that there's not too much tension that might pull the tube out. Any questions? Please see one of us. Thank you for watching.